In studio is Stephen Handwerk. He is the executive director of the Democrat Party of Louisiana. Welcome back to the Shreveport-Bossier area.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you in a while.
I know, it's been a minute.
You look the same. I look a little older. I just thought
I appreciate that more than you know.
It's so what you here for?
You know, look, we're traveling the state. We certainly do this as much as we possibly can. But to now, it's a good time to get up here and start talking about our process for not only rebuilding our party, right? Because we go through a reorganization every 4 years.
Well, it is Louisiana.
It is Louisiana. But we also, at this very same time, we're working through picking out who will be representing us in Milwaukee at our big national convention this summer.
We can start with that.
Cool. We can go anywhere you like.
I have
don't tell him that, Steve.
I have a billion questions. I want to start with what I mentioned in the last segment when I said to Aaron, I said, what do you want to talk about with Stephen? Is Governor John Bel Edwards, because you are the executive director of the Democrat Party of Louisiana.
Yep. I've met him. Yep.
So you're talking to... So you also have your finger not only on the state pulse, but the national pulse. Mm-hmm. We have a Democrat governor of Louisiana who is pro-life and pro-Second Amendment.
Yep.
And I think at least it has filtered back to me that he, in his own mind, sees himself, despite how Republicans and conservatives in this state may view him, that he, the governor, sees himself as an outlier in his own party. Is that true?
I would say maybe on the national stage, but certainly in Louisiana, no. We have a lot of Democrats that are in his camp that believe the things that he does. And I truly believe that we are the Big Tent party. Now, let me just tell you, that doesn't make my job any easier. I'll just put that out.
Well, let's not talk about national right now.
Sure.
Let's talk, not talk about Louisiana. Let's talk about national.
Sure.
But do Democrats in Louisiana, you say we're the Big Tent party, do Democrats in Louisiana who may happen to be pro-life and who may happen to be pro-Second Amendment, do they feel like they've been kicked out of their own party?
I really don't believe so. And here's why. Because we're going into our big national convention, they get seats at the table to argue our platform. And our platform will then be in place for the next 4 years as to the things Democrats care about, the things that we believe in, the things that we're going to be fighting for. And them getting a seat at the table through our delegate selection process gives them that right. They get to weigh in on all of this stuff.
A delegate from Louisiana, a Democrat delegate from Louisiana may stand up and say, this gun ban thing, and they get shouted down and booed and stuff like that.
Well, first off, I don't think, and I wouldn't recommend that they go through it with this gun ban thing as their lead off, but I think if they go in with a conversation of, hey, look, I think that there are sensible things. I think we do not want people with mental disabilities and people who have threatened and have actually attacked their spouses to have guns. That might be a place that we should probably have a conversation about. If you are mentally ill, if you are unstable, you probably should not have a gun.
So who? I'll go ahead.
The Democratic field, Stephen, we're talking to Stephen Handwerk, Louisiana Democratic Party boss, head cheese.
Executive director.
I just clean the bathrooms, really. That's all I...
The Democratic candidates, there's a dozen of them or more. Who are the top three in your mind for the Louisiana folks that you're talking to?
I don't know that I can get it to three, if I'm being honest. I mean, first off, I'm the arbiter of these delegate selection programs, so I love all Democrats. I just want to say that at the preface. But certainly right now, if we're looking at the polling, I mean, it's been a very long time since I think either party has had this much of a jumbled up primary system going into it, where we have this many candidates in all of these early states that are polling within the margins of each other. So going into Iowa on Monday, I have no idea how that's going to come out. But certainly we know that that Elizabeth Warren is doing incredibly well. We know that Vice President Biden is doing well. Bernie Sanders is doing incredibly well, as is Pete Buttigieg.
Most likely to make a run at a sitting president. Would you put Biden on that list? I guess that's what everyone's saying.
Of course. Of course, the vice president. Look, the vice president can bring the receipts, and he also brings some gravitas to the conversation. And so I know, talking with a lot of my friends, they really like him for that reason. And then I have other folks that are saying, look, this is, never before have we been in the crisis that we're in right now with our country. And in order to get it back, we need to go a little bit further. We need to go maybe listen to Elizabeth Warren. Look, I've also got to be honest with you guys, and I think we've talked about it before on the air up here. Look, as an openly gay man, I never thought I would see the day that we would have an openly gay candidate running for president doing this well, raising this amount of money. It's quite inspiring to me.
I saw, sorry, I'm fighting a little cold here. I saw a couple of days ago, maybe it was even last night, that Bernie Sanders has a 15-point lead in New Hampshire. Based on what a lot of, I want to call traditional Democrats, including, I think it was former President Obama,
Right.
Bernie Sanders is unelectable. Given the fact that the Donna Brazile comments that during the last primary, they basically fixed on a national level the primaries against Bernie. Is there that fear again amongst Bernie backers that not only is there a fear among Democrats that he is in fact so radical to be unelectable, and that the Democrat Party itself will turn on him if he appears to be moving toward the nomination?
Those are a lot of if-then statements.
But they did it last time.
I don't agree with that. And look, I'm really
you're
good friends
disagreeing
with
with Donna
Donna.
Brazile,
Look,
not
I'm
me.
very good friends with Donna Brazile. The fix is it is impossible for us to contemplate the situation that this was fixed, because when you look at it, Bernie Sanders came out of the delegate selection process with with over 3 million less votes and less delegates. You're telling me that all 57 of those races were rigged?
You're
against
telling me
him?
that the Russians interfered in the last election? What the hell? Let's get back to Bernie, though. Is
Sure.
there a fear among Bernie backers that the party will find him unelectable and find a way if he's in the lead?
Well, look, of course, I think that there's a lot of fears for everybody's side. I think that we're in an environment now where no one trusts each other. Gone are the days where Tip O'Neill would sit down with the
Let's go
opposite
drinking
side
later.
and let's go have a drink, and they would toss one back. Gone are those days. They're gone now. And I hope we can get back to something. You talked about a little bit earlier before I came on about, the divisiveness that we have in this country, and trying to figure out a way that we can move forward. And certainly, I think we all have to do our part, left, right, and center, of pulling back the rhetoric.